you today. The table is set your way. Sit down and have your say. Bon appetit.
Welcome to the Potluck Webcast with Master Chef Warren L. Booker Jr.
Let's see.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Potluck. This episode will be somewhat different because I will be sharing my short/silent with a little music film with you tonight. We premiered it last year around this time, and I felt led this year to share it around the same time. For I know that there are a lot of people who are going through things. We just recently had the holidays, the New Year rather, is now upon us. And I know a lot of people have experienced grief, so on and so forth. So I'm going to share my personal journey as I dealt with depression. And of course, depression is I Pressed On, Rearranged. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you I Pressed On, a Warren L. Booker Jr. film.
Presto. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Friends.
Okay, thank you all so much for the support. Thank you so much for sharing. I saw a lot of sharing going on here and tagging individuals. Um, Also, I want to thank everyone for the stars donations. That's something new now that I'm a digital creator. And I'm going to keep this up. Last time I took it down because it's actually hard to watch this because this is not something made up. This is my journey that I was experiencing somewhat silently, but yet out loud, things that change. But like most people that are going through something, you do not want to burden other people. So you keep things to yourself. And my advice to that, of course, depression is real. I never experienced it like this before. It started earlier, and it's kind of like I was able to get over that. But this was something that was beyond my control. And just living in this world, it can happen to anyone. There are some people that are walking around every day that are depressed and don't know that they're depressed. Also, their friends may be unaware or just notice that they've changed, but don't know exactly what it is. Dig a little deeper. Don't get mad at themselves. You acting funny. No, there's probably a reason why they're acting funny. There is something wrong, and everybody don't know to get help, know how to get help, or you have too much pride. It took everything within me to say, "Hey, something's wrong. It's beyond my control. I love the Lord. He hears my cry, but there is someone here on earth that I need help." And I called my EAP, which is the Employee Assistance Program, and got the sessions that I need. And still to this day, I still struggle from time to time. I feel it creeping up on me, but it's a constant battle. And you don't think of the person that's smiling being that person. You don't think about the life of the party being that person that's experiencing depression. Sometimes that's an escape, but that person finishes making you laugh and then they go to a shell and they're struggling, can't sleep at night, taking Tylenol PM or taking sleeping medicine, just trying to get some rest. They're struggling within. Sometimes that's a cover up. The life of the party, that person who's always laughing, acting crazy, sometimes that is a cover up. So just be mindful of that. Be careful with asking people what's wrong with you, because they don't need to hear that. They know something is wrong. It needs to be more like, how can I help you? How can I help you? We have some comments that are over here. My big sister posted, "You are famous," and I appreciate that, and I received that. I received that. That famous person was struggling at that time. Miss Terry posted, "It helps someone. Thank you for presenting it." And thank you so much, Miss Terry. That's my goal. Summer Rain stated, "Dig deep and don't let it go." Tiki Hunt stated, "That is something that the devil wants you to think, that we are a burden on others, when God said to bear one another's burdens." I love you for sharing this, and I love you too as well. My old St. James family, my Packentown family, who are always there to support. If there are any questions, I'm open to answering any questions. If not, I just ask you, please just share this with people. I was really unsure of what to do this week, and y'all, this is actually is ministry, and I'm realizing that this is ministry. And I was led by God to say, "I pressed on, show it. Somebody needs it. Somebody needs that help." Because it makes me think about just this past year. I think we had like a beauty queen to commit suicide, CEOs of companies to commit suicide, Twitch, who right before the day before it happened, or 2 days before, he and his wife are dancing. He's making TikToks. It seems to be happy. And then he ends up taking his life. And unfortunately, that can be the end, all for some people. So it's important that you get the help that you need. Check on people. Um, and just pray for people. Be careful what you say to people, how you treat people, because that one thing that you may say may be the thing to push them over the edge. And lastly, if you need help, get help. Don't shun people for getting help. We all have things that are too big for us to handle. True enough, we turn it over to God. True enough, we may go to a therapist to get help. And I think that that's very, very important. And I'm not ashamed to tell you, I have a therapist. Um, I need to make a call to her now because I'm personally dealing with grief of a close friend here recently. So, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. Let's see here. Tiki Hunt stated, let's see here. Let me get it up. My daughter struggles with it, and so do I. I do believe that my son has gone through it too. And it's very common, but we don't talk about it. It's the elephant in the room. Korean tweet Cole Moore stated, "Salute you, WB Overcomers United." That's right. I pressed on. People, please keep pressing on. Please keep pressing on. Rearrange that depression and keep pressing on. Summer Rain stated, "One, can you share how long it took you to reach out for professional help?" Definitely, I can. Um, Actually, Summer, I it took me about maybe a year because I was talking to another coworker and I'm gonna call. No, you gonna call. I'm gonna call, and then things get better. Then it comes back up, And it was to this one day where I felt like I could not go on anymore. I could not go on anymore. Things that were simple for me, I could not do. Getting up was a struggle. I'm getting sick. Like it showed you, like, I mean, I didn't throw you that. I mean, I didn't show you that, but I was literally regurgitating just to go to work. Not saying that I didn't like my job, but just getting up was a struggle. Existing was a struggle. So that's when I decided it took about a year to get professional help because things would get better and then they go back to the same. And for me, actually, I went through two therapists before this last one because things beyond my control. But one got another position, and she was no longer seeing private clients. The other one, and she's just my Facebook friend. If she sees it, she knows it's the truth. She just kind of stopped. She kind of stopped and said she was no longer seeing patients in the evening. And of course, that could have been something to discourage me, but I was like, no, I'm going to get the help that I need. And I will say this last time was definitely the things that I need. And actually, you do walk in therapy. Those who have never been in therapy, it should be an environment that's professional, yet it's still safe, someone that you can trust. They're relaxed, and they talk you through your problems. It kind of helps you fix. They help you fix your problems. So, and that's important. That's very important. And they give you the skills, the coping skills, because after therapy, when you're at home, when you're alone, those are the times that you definitely need. That you need those coping skills. Kareem stated we all could use Jesus and a therapist. That's right, Jesus and a therapist, prayer and a therapist. Best choice I ever made. And I'm so glad, Kareem, that you're not ashamed to say that you have a therapist and you seek therapy because a lot of people are. Some Marine said, I tell everyone to please reach out for help. Counseling is okay. It is okay. I think I'm a cool cat and I have a therapist. I think I'm blessed. I know that I'm blessed by God and I have a therapist. I'm a Christian and I'm a therapist. I love the Lord. He heard my cry. But I have a therapist, and I have a prayer life, and I'm gonna get the help that I need for sure, no doubt. Also, some are asking, I share the information about the EAP, and that is Employee Assistance Program. And most jobs have them, but people just don't know about it, or some may be ashamed. So what this is, every job or most jobs, I will say, have what they call EAP, Employee Assistance Program, where if a person is needing help for therapy, if you're struggling with suicidal thoughts or alcoholism, drug issues, so on and so forth, there should be a number that you can call. Most of the time, it's posted in the break room. If not, you can contact your HR department and they can give you that number. They're not going to ask any questions about what's going on. They're going to give you that number. Then you call your employee assistance program. They're going to set up your account through your employer, whoever that may be. And from that point, they're going to provide you with numbers for therapists in your area. And now we have telehealth, so it don't even have to be someone in your area. If you're someone that knows a lot of people like me, you're kind of going to be cautious about who you choose because even though there should be confidentiality, sometimes people talk, and I've seen confidentiality broken. So carefully choose your therapist, whoever you want. And now, if you're okay with telehealth and don't need face to face, then you can get a therapist, outside of your city. I'm not so quite sure about outside of the state, but that may be possible. That may be something that you can ask. And you simply will set up your sessions. Some jobs offer 6 sessions, some jobs offer 8 sessions, but you set those up and you start processing through your problems. So that's important. That's important. Very, very, very important. Kareem stated, oh my God, we should do a panel about this WJB, WLBJR, all those alphabet. We got to speak up and speak out. And I do agree, Corinne. And actually, that is something that I'm planning to do with this, where there is a panel, there are some professionals, and people can have a safe space to speak. Thank you so much for confirming that needs to be done. Tiki Hunt stated, and beyond the talking, sometimes you do need some supplements or medication. And that is true. One time I was told that I had a hormonal imbalance and told what supplements to take, and that along with still talking with the psychologist made the world of difference. And that is true. That is true. I think that that's very important. And even if it's prescription medication, some even go that route. There may be some, like you stated, some supplements that are lacking that can help. And I was prescribed medication because I was not sleeping. I was experiencing anxiety, didn't know it. I always thought of an anxiety, experiencing anxiety was when you were and couldn't breathe and things of that nature. And as I talked through this with my therapist, she was like, Warren, you're sitting in your car nervous about going to church, nervous about going into school, or you're not sleeping. So it's not just an actual attack. When you're anxious, when you're always worried about something, you're experiencing anxiety. And sometimes that can be treated naturally through exercises, sometimes prescription medication, sometimes through supplements, as Ms. Hunt just stated. But whatever it takes, make sure that you get the help that you need. And I tease my mom and my dad and my grandmother and even my boss today about older people. I'm quite sure they experience the same things, but they just say, well, you just pray about it, keep on going. And I just say that my elders, y'all are cut from a different cloth. It's a different type of fabric. Y'all can take things that some of us, yeah, this newer generation just can't take. We didn't experience, we didn't have the same rearing that you guys had. And even then, therapy was needed for a lot of people, but they just did not seek it. All right, Miss Terry stated, people should not let embarrassment or ridicule from friends keep you from getting the help that you need. And I agree. And if you're my friend, you should not be ridiculing me about me getting the help that I need. So Moraine stated, my therapist recommended books, podcasts, the other avenues as well. Counseling really helps, and God educated them to help us because He knew what was ahead for us. And I definitely agree. Find out what helps you. Sometimes people, I just kind of disconnect, not in a bad way, and I just need to spend time with myself to meditate, to think, to plan. Um, Traveling may be there for someone. Some people have big bucks and they can go to Dubai or they can go to Florida on a dime. But for me, if I go to hot springs sometimes and get a cabin on the lake or just get a room just to disconnect from my home, um, and from everything, it's a different environment just so I can get my thoughts together. And sometimes just changing your environment can make that difference. Definitely can. Charlie may say that I disconnect a lot. I need to try other things. So yeah, try other things. Find out what works for you. You may try some things and it don't work because some people do things that could be harmful to themselves. I'm like, I don't know if I encourage that. Um, but whatever works for you, find that thing that works for you where you could just kind of just clear your mind and just take a break from some things because sometimes you have so much piled on you, so much piled on you. And I heard so many people say, and we've been told that God won't put more on you than you can bear, and I agree with that. That is so true. That is so true. But what I found out, sometimes people put more on you than you can bear, and God ain't told you to pick up that. Sometimes we ourselves put more on ourselves than we can bear, and we're just weighed down. God ain't had nothing to do with that. You put that on yourself. So I definitely agree with the statement. God would not put more on you than you can bear. But don't allow people to put more on you than you can bear. And don't you put more on yourself than you can bear. And thank you for sharing that, Charlie May. I've actually got emotional. This could just be just for you, but I know that it was for somebody and it's going to help somebody. And that's the whole purpose of this. For me, this is a constant fight. As we said in the frat, a constant struggle each and every day. And each and every day. It's kind of, I'm reminding myself, I'm using the skills that I have from my therapist. Because people living in this world, it's hard. It's real hard. And I know for a lot of people, it's been one thing after another. Then you have a death, and then there's a loss, and then someone breaks into your home, and then you lose your job, and then you just start tripping. You got somebody picking on you, then your kids act up, and then your parents throw you under the bus, and then it's just one thing after another. Oftentimes in life, But yet and still, we have to stay strong. And trust me, getting help is not weak. Actually, it takes strength. It took me strength to pick up that phone and dial 1-800. I need help. That took strength. I could have remained weak and remained in my weakened state, and only God knows what could have happened. Because in the film, you saw me in my car, the garage letting up, and I'll be very transparent. Some people missed it. Um, but the gas main that you saw there that was on my neighbor's house, the devil was telling me in my mind, put your foot on the pedal as fast as you can and just drive. That's what the enemy was telling me. But I corrected that thinking error right then and there. And not even thinking about myself, say, if I do that, then there's going to be an explosion because that's gas. I could harm my neighbors, them. They've done nothing to me. And then, is that what I really want? Hold up, that's murder. So there were a lot of things that process in my mind, but I think that comes with the counseling, with the therapy, because some people think of that, and in that moment, they think suicide is the answer. And also, people, we can't take everything that people put in our lives. We can't believe even everything that people say. Sometimes everybody's saying this, or this amount of people said this, so it must be true. That's not necessarily always the case. My best friend and I, we talk about this all the time. Even sometimes with the devil diagnoses, with the doctor's diagnoses, some people just lay down and they take that for what it is. But you can beat certain things. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And ever since then, a few changes, and my A1C and all that has been good since then. There are some people who have been diagnosed with cancer, but in their mind, they said, no, I got this, devil. You will not kill me. And they beat it. And we can do the same thing with this depression while getting help. You can beat it. You can beat it. You'll be surprised the number of people that suffer from depression and suffer from certain illnesses. But it boils down to your mindset. Are you going to let that overtake you? Kareem stated, okay, you are famous. EAP, Employee Assistance Program, offers tons of benefits. Mental attorneys. Yeah, that's right. Each company has different offerings. So check this. Is separate than medical, dental, and vision benefits. So yeah, check into it. Each job is different. Charlie May stated that when I have those thoughts, I just call on Jesus and say, I rebuke you, devil. So I can relate to that. That's right. That's right. And I would say, okay, that's not of God. That's a thinking error. Okay, let's get that out of my mind. Let's get that out of mind. We can't stay there. We can't stay there. And what I've noticed, a lot of those that definitely have a calling on their life, those people who are meant to make a difference, the devil really gets busy. He gets to really working on those people because he knows that you are a threat. You are a threat to him. You are the threat that can make a change in this world. He really, really, really attacks those individuals. Because I know that there's more that God requires of me. But in that moment, I couldn't see past what was in front of me. But I thank God that this is a year later and I am here. And I will be lying to you if I've said it's been peachy and everything has been perfect. It has not. I've had those moments, but thank God I have those skills, some coping skills, and I do have a number that I can call. One is Jesus, and the other ones I can call my therapist for just maintenance. That's what they call it, maintenance, where there may be some things that I may have gotten off about or just quite missed the mark. I didn't know how to apply it exactly. Are there any other questions? I am not a therapist. This is just my personal experience. I want to put that disclaimer out there. I'm telling you the things that worked for me. What worked for me may not work for you, but there is something out there that can work for you, definitely. So again, people, I ask that everyone please like, tag, and share this. If you'd like to make a donation, you can to via Cash App to $ WLBJR 81, and/or you can also now send stars here on Facebook. I heard my phone making some weird sounds. I think those are stars. Thank you so much for that, because you do not have to do that. If there aren't any more questions, I will end this live, and I ask that you please, again, share it with individuals on your timeline. You can share it in your story. And also, it's over on YouTube. So if you go over, If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube page, just go over to Warren Booker Jr. and you can subscribe, and it's also live over there. My mom tunes in over there all the time. And Summer, what did Summer say? Stated here. That's right. I agree. God requires a lot from us, and I already know that's why we are attacked. And that's so true. And Summer, you and I, we know about each other's personal lives and the things that happen. How the devil, I'm like, dude, are you ever gonna take a break? Do you ever use a PTO day? Do you ever call in sick? But he doesn't. Dude is employee of the year. Satan is employee of the year and has been for many years. But we can't let him win. We have to rebuke him, like Charlie May said, and put him in his place. Check him. Don't allow him to reign. Not over your life. So if there's nothing else to claim my attention, I'm feeling like we're in church. And over here, as you can see right here, this was one of the shots that was captured while I was in the car. And when I look at that sometimes, it's just powerful because that one tear, that was a release. That was a release. In that moment, while feminist, that was a release. Even though this was somewhat towards the end of it, that was my release. And once I felt it go down my face, it's almost as if I felt pressure. And y'all people just sharing this, it's not easy. Because again, this is not something made up. This is what I experienced in my life for real. The things that you saw was real. And I feel like I am naked before the world and sharing what was going on inside. So it's not easy, but I realize that I'm here on earth to be used by God. And I'm willing to do it. So I'm willing to do it. All righty. I don't think that there are any more questions or comments in the comment session. So hearing none, seeing none. Oh, you have a question. What is one misconception about depression that you learned or thought? Corinne, I think the one misconception that I have seen is that if you are depressed, you are weak. If you are depressed, you are weak. Or if you get help, that is a sign of weakness. And I will argue with that all day. That means that you have strength. And people don't like to seem weak. Just like there are certain things that in life that are not bad, but we make them bad. Like people do not want to admit being asleep. There's nothing wrong with sleep. But you can be somewhere at a party, at somebody's house. I mean, we hear you snore. Oh, I ain't sleep. I ain't sleep. I ain't sleep. I remember being, on the phone as a kid, macking. I mean, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Tired as I don't know what. On the phone, sleep, snoring. I ain't sleep. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Just like there's nothing wrong with admitting that something is too big for you, that you can't handle, and that you need help. So I would say that is one misconception about depression. That and also along the race line, some people say, well, Black people don't get depressed. We were born into hard times. We're cut out for it. No, our grandparents experienced it. Our ancestors experienced it. Yeah, they were under a lot of stress and pressure, but yeah, they experienced it. But yeah, I think that would be the number one thing that comes to mind. That will be the number one thing. Okay. So Moraine stated statistically, and that's one of my trouble words, but I got it out. Statistically, women reach out more for help versus men. I wonder, is the feeling like you will be viewed as being weak for getting help is the problem? In Summer, I knew you were going to come back and correct that. WEAK, that's right. And she's also my spell check as well. Sometimes you get the typing and the phones, they get the hating. But yeah, that is true. I personally think that that's why men probably do not reach out for help. And women, to be truthful, in families, I mean, oftentimes have a lot of responsibilities. I'm telling you, like James Brown said, this is the man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. Women take on a lot. And I've seen a lot of men who, once they have to take on those responsibilities, kind of like, whoa, you do all this and you still come home and cook and go to work. So I think that is like a macho thing. A man, I got this. Most of the time, even think about us as men. We don't want to ask for directions. We'll rather drive around, waste gas for an hour before we reach out for help, knowing that we're lost, or knowing something is too heavy, but we're gonna try to do it. And next thing you know, you have a hernia, you have something torn up in your back. So I personally think that yes, that is a part of it. You have to be macho. My classmate Dunn stated, "Speak the truth on a subject that people have made taboo." That's right. We have to speak out about it. We have to speak out about it because, unfortunately, here recently, and it's nothing new, but there's is more that's happening. It's happening more. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, I want to end this," and they take it into their own hands and they end their life. And of course, there's so much more that you have to do. We need you. We need you. And when it's your time, you'll know because it'll happen naturally. But I can say it's easier said than done. In that moment, you can't see past that present moment. You think that it can't get any better. And one of my therapists shared that sometimes I awfulize, like I think the worst of things, automatically assume the worst, like it's the most awful thing is going to happen, and it could be something minor, but in your mind, it's going to be the end, and the worst is going to happen. Also, with awfulizing, there's a flip side to it. She stated, like, if there's a certain situation that you're in, and like, think about what is the most awful thing that can happen. And sometimes it's not all that bad. Now, sometimes it may not be what we want, but what is the most awful thing that can happen? Is it worth this trouble, this stress? I was on a job before that, to be truthful, was killing me. It was killing me. Hated it. The worst job I ever had. And in that moment, if I would have asked, like, what is the most awful thing that could have happened? I could have gotten fired. I could have quit, you know, but then there was unemployment that could be gained. That's not so bad. But it would be even worse had I made a bad decision to take my life or, do something like that, to do something crazy. So look at things like what is the most awful thing that can happen. And I think naturally I'm like that because I plan for the worst. So anything in between, I can manage that. So it can or does work sometimes in your favor. Kareem said, RIP to Robin Williams, Kate Spade, so many gone to this silent killer, which is called depression. And as I mentioned, Twitch, he was one that was recent. People like, but he was just so happy. He was just smiling. There's a lot of people walking around here with smiles on their faces and are dying inside. They're hurting inside and they can't ask for help, or they don't know how to ask for help. So yeah, you can't judge this. You can't judge a TikTok video because that very person can go the next day and end it all themselves. Okay. I didn't know what this ending would be like, but I appreciate your responses. As usual, I thank you all so much for tuning in. And if there is nothing else to claim your attention, I'm so churchy. We can do the benediction and consider ourselves dismissed. And I've been told that sometimes there's a lag and I go too fast. So I'm going to count to 10. 1, Mississippi. Speak now, forever hold your peace. 2, Mississippi. 3, Mississippi. 4, Mississippi. 5, Mississippi. And I'm not going to give Mississippi my credit. I'm not from Mississippi. 6, Packing Town. 7, Packing Town. 8, Packing Town. 9, Packing Town. 10, Packing Town. Okay. Again, Corinne, thank you so much. She stated she needed this check-in. Thank you so much. You're indeed welcome. To God, get the glory. Good night, Miss Terry. And again, I am Warren L. Booker Jr., host of the soon-to-be internationally known podcast or webcast entitled The Potluck. I will be back here at 7:14 next week, focusing on some Black history for the month of February. So I'm looking forward to that. And if you have any topics or anything that you would potentially like to see on the Potluck, please be sure to shoot me an inbox or text me or something like that. And we'll go from there. Until then, people, I know today is Friday Eve. So have a great day tomorrow. Have a great weekend. Be blessed. And remember, depression is real, but it can be rearranged to I press on. And I challenge each of you to press on. And that's right, Tiki. The potluck and pot liquor, Packing he has all of that in that order. I love where I'm from. Nobody. Oh, birthday weekend, Tiki Hunt. Now, I'm not much of a singer, but they say I've been hoarse all week. And I'm gonna do my best friend's rendition of Happy Birthday. Today is your day, so have it your way. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tiki. Happy birthday to you. All righty. On that note, I end up singing at the end of this. I've gone through a range of emotions. So it is now time to eat some real food. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to the potluck. And whatever you bring to the potluck table, we will eat it. However, we're going to ask who cooked it. And if it's nasty, we're going to be sure to tell you that it is. And don't be mad at us when we spit it out. And remember to never put raisins in the potato salad here at the potluck. Have a great night, people. I'm talking crazy now. Be blessed. Oh, Tiki, don't do that. You know I used to sing in the Sunshine Band and the youth choir. All righty. All right. Be blessed, people. Have a great night.